The moment Sarah lifted her daughter's pillow, her heart stopped. There lay makeup, jewelry, and thousands in cash. But her 11-year-old daughter's explanation would reveal a darker truth than she could have ever imagined. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and drop a comment letting us know where you're watching from. If you're already subscribed, thank you. We truly appreciate your support. Now, let's get into the story. Sarah couldn't sleep. For weeks now, she had been watching her 11-year-old daughter Maya's strange behavior with growing concern. Something wasn't right, and as a mother, her instincts were screaming at her. That morning, like many others recently, Maya hadn't come down for breakfast. It was already 9 a.m., then 10 a.m., and still no sign of her. This wasn't the Maya she knew, the bright-eyed girl who used to wake up at dawn for her studies. "Maya, honey?" Sarah called out, knocking on her daughter's bedroom door. "Are you awake?" An irritated voice responded from inside, something that had become increasingly common lately. When Maya finally opened the door, Sarah's heart sank. Her daughter's face carried a strange, troubled expression, and she was standing awkwardly as if in pain. "Mom, I don't feel well today," Maya mumbled, avoiding eye contact. Just then, the doorbell rang. It was Sarah's sister-in-law, Regina, visiting after nearly 3 years. Regina had always been quick to judge, always ready with criticism, and Sarah felt her anxiety spike. How would she explain Maya's condition? "Where's my favorite niece?" Regina's voice carried through the house. "It's been so long since I've seen her." Maya tensed at the sound of her aunt's voice, shrinking behind her door. Sarah whispered quickly, "Just come out for a minute, please. Then you can go back to rest." When Maya finally emerged, her limping walk was impossible to hide. Regina's eyes widened, and she placed a hand on Maya's forehead with exaggerated concern. "Oh my, what's happened to her?" Regina exclaimed, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "Such a young girl, walking like an old woman. Sarah, how could you let this happen?" Sarah's cheeks burned with embarrassment and anger. "It's nothing serious," she said quickly. "She's just feeling under the weather today." But Regina's knowing smirk suggested she was enjoying this moment far too much. Sarah hurriedly sent Maya back to her room, her mind racing with questions she couldn't answer. What was happening to her daughter? Why was she acting so strangely? And most troubling of all, what was she hiding? Little did Sarah know, the truth would be far more shocking than anything she could imagine, and her peaceful world was about to be turned upside down. After Regina left, Sarah couldn't shake the image of something she'd spotted in Maya's room, a pillow hastily pushed aside, hiding something underneath. But before she could investigate, Maya had rushed into her attached bathroom for a shower. When Maya emerged, Sarah's jaw dropped. Her daughter was wearing a beautiful new dress, one Sarah had definitely never bought her. "Maya, where did you get that dress?" Sarah asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Maya twirled around, the fabric swishing elegantly. "Oh, this? My friend Lily from Islamic Studies gave it to me. Remember I told you about her? It was a birthday gift." Regina, who was still lingering in the hallway, suddenly chimed in. "How lovely. She looks just like a princess." Her laugh echoed through the room, carrying an odd undertone that made Sarah's skin crawl. Later that evening, after everyone had gone, Sarah confronted her daughter. "You should have told me about the dress earlier. What if I had questioned you about it in front of your aunt?" "Mom, you're always so suspicious," Maya snapped, her eyes flashing with unexpected anger. "Aunt Regina isn't as bad as you think. She understands things better than you do." The next few days brought more mysterious changes. Maya, who had never missed a day of Islamic studies before, suddenly announced one morning, "I'm too tired to go today. I need to rest." Sarah watched her daughter closely. Maya was staying up late, sleeping until mid-morning, and walking with that same strange limp. But it was her eyes that worried Sarah the most. They carried a haunted look, as if she was carrying a heavy secret. Then came the day that changed everything. Sarah's old friend and coworker, Diana, stopped by unexpectedly. Diana worked at a local women's organization and had always been known for her sharp intuition. As Maya limped past them to fetch water, Diana grabbed Sarah's arm, her face grave. "Sarah, how can you be so blind?" Diana whispered urgently. "Look at your daughter. Really look at her. The way she walks, the way she dresses, the look in her eyes. Something is very wrong here." Diana leaned closer, her voice dropping even lower. You need to watch her every move. She's at a vulnerable age, and there are people out there who prey on young girls. Don't wait until it's too late to act. Sarah felt the ground shifting beneath her feet. Her mind raced back to the hidden pillow, the unexplained dress, the sudden changes in Maya's behavior. What was her 11-year-old daughter involved in? And more importantly, who was leading her down this dangerous path? That night, as Sarah lay awake in her bed, she made a decision. Starting tomorrow, she would uncover the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The next morning, Maya's voice drifted from her room. Mom, could you give me a massage? My whole body aches. Sarah grabbed the warming oil and headed to Maya's room, hoping this might be her chance to discover what was wrong. But as soon as she entered, Maya's demeanor changed completely. Never mind, Maya said quickly, pulling her blanket tighter. The pain is gone now. You don't need to trouble yourself. Sarah's hand tightened around the oil bottle. Maya, what are you hiding from me? Why won't you let me help you? Nothing, Mom. Why are you always suspicious? Maya's voice trembled. I just need some privacy. That evening, Sarah made an announcement. I'm sleeping in your room tonight, Maya. Keep your door open. Maya's face paled. But Mom, I need my space. I'm not a little girl anymore. This isn't up for discussion, Sarah said firmly. Hours later, when Sarah finished her housework and headed to Maya's room, she found the door locked. She knocked, called out, but received no response. The silence from within was deafening. Maya, open this door right now. Nothing. The next day, Sarah made a decision. When Maya mentioned going to evening Islamic studies, Sarah watched her from the window. Her daughter hailed a rickshaw, pulling money from her pocket to pay the driver. Where did she get that money? Sarah whispered to herself. She hadn't given Maya any cash in weeks. Making a split-second decision, Sarah grabbed her shawl and followed. Fortunately, she recognized the rickshaw driver waiting nearby, Mr. Kabir, who had driven Maya to school when she was younger. Follow that rickshaw, Sarah told him, but stay far enough behind that she won't notice. To Sarah's relief, Maya did go to the Islamic Center. But when Sarah slipped inside, she sought out Mrs. Thompson, Maya's longtime teacher. Ah, Sarah, Mrs. Thompson said, her face showing concern. I've been wanting to speak with you. Is something wrong with Maya's studies? Sarah asked. Mrs. Thompson lowered her voice. Maya isn't the same student anymore. She's always sleepy in class, as if she hasn't slept all night. She walks slowly, complains of pain, and often asks for leave. This isn't like her at all. The teacher leaned forward, her eyes serious. But what concerns me most is that she switched to evening classes. Sarah, you need to watch her carefully at home. At this age, girls need constant supervision. Tell me, do you sleep in the same room as Maya? Sarah's heart sank as she admitted the truth. No, she has her own room now. She insisted on it. Mrs. Thompson's sharp intake of breath made Sarah's blood run cold. That's not wise, Sarah. Not wise at all. Children her age shouldn't have such privacy. It's our duty to protect them before someone else leads them astray. As Sarah left the Islamic Center, her mind wandered back to the money she'd found hidden under Maya's pillow. A 5,000 taka note. Where had it come from? What was her daughter doing? And most importantly, who was she doing it with? That night, Sarah made up her mind. She would search Maya's room thoroughly, no matter what she might find. The truth couldn't be worse than these terrible suspicions keeping her awake at night. Little did she know, tomorrow would bring revelations that would shake her world to its core. The next morning, Sarah marched into Maya's room with determination. I need to clean in here today. Maya jumped up from her bed, panic flashing across her face. Mom, you don't have to. I'll clean it myself. No, Sarah said firmly. I'm doing it now. As Sarah moved around the room, her eyes caught sight of unfamiliar clothes peeking out from the closet. She walked toward it, but Maya darted in front of her. Mom, what do you need? I'll get it for you. Sarah gently but firmly moved her daughter aside. Maya, this is my house. Why are you acting like I'm an intruder? Opening the wardrobe, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. The closet was filled with new clothes, beautiful, expensive pieces she had never seen before. Under the pillow, she found something even more disturbing. Makeup, jewelry, and more cash. Maya's face had gone white. Mom, I can explain. Then explain, Sarah said, her voice trembling. Where did all this come from? I give tutoring lessons, Maya stuttered. These clothes are secondhand, and the makeup was cheap. I just wanted to feel pretty sometimes. Her voice grew defensive. I go to Islamic studies, come home, and never do anything wrong. I don't even play with other girls anymore. Why do you always look at me like I'm a criminal? Sarah held up the expensive makeup. Tutoring? These aren't cheap items, Maya. Stop lying to me. Tears welled up in Maya's eyes, but Sarah noticed they didn't fall, as if her daughter had become practiced at holding them back. Fine, Sarah said, taking a deep breath. I'm sleeping in your room tonight. No arguments. Maya's reaction was unexpected. Okay, Mom. Let me at least get you some milk to help you sleep. You look tired. Sarah should have been suspicious of her daughter's sudden cooperation, but she was too exhausted from worry to think clearly. When Maya brought her the warm milk, she drank it gratefully. The next thing she knew, sunlight was streaming through the windows. She had slept deeply, too deeply, for 6 straight hours. The realization hit her like a thunderbolt. The milk had been drugged. She found Maya sitting in front of her mirror, wearing a stunning white outfit that seemed to shimmer in the morning light. At this early hour, her daughter was already perfectly dressed and made up. Maya, why are you dressed like this at dawn? It's Friday, Mom, Maya replied softly. We should look our best for Allah. After all, her voice dropped to a whisper, Allah doesn't look kindly on disobedient followers like us. The words sent chills down Sarah's spine. What do you mean? What sin have you committed? Maya turned to her mother, her eyes filled with a sadness far too old for her 11 years. Mom, find me a good husband. I'll arrange my own dowry. I have money saved. Don't worry about the expenses. I know our family struggles financially. I don't want to be a burden like my sisters were. Sarah felt the room spinning. Her 11-year-old daughter was talking about marriage and dowry with the world-weariness of someone 3 times her age. What had happened to her little girl? Who had taught her to think this way? The answer would come sooner than she expected, and it would be more horrifying than anything she had imagined. The next day brought the answer Sarah had been dreading, but in a form she never could have anticipated. The doorbell rang early in the morning, and there stood Regina, carrying an armful of wedding clothes and wearing a triumphant smile. Surprise, dear sister-in-law, Regina announced, sweeping into the house. I've brought the perfect marriage proposal for Maya. Sarah's heart stopped. What are you talking about? My son, Jason, of course. He wants to marry Maya. Regina's smile widened, showing too many teeth. The blood drained from Sarah's face. Jason, Regina's son, was notorious in their community for his involvement in the nightclub business. His name was associated with scandal and shame. Have you lost your mind? Sarah exploded. Your son? The same Jason who runs those dancing clubs? The one involved in all those shameful activities? Never. Regina's smile transformed into something cruel. Oh, but you don't have a choice, dear Sarah. You see, Maya already works for us. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. What are you saying? Regina's laugh was cold and sharp. Every night, while you sleep soundly thanks to those sleeping pills in your milk, I take Maya to perform at our clubs. She dances, she sings. She's quite talented, actually. Didn't you wonder where all those new clothes and makeup came from? Sarah felt her knees weaken. No, you're lying. Am I? Remember how you treated me when I married into the entertainment business? How you looked down on me? How you sneered at my shameful profession? Regina's voice dripped with venom. Well, now your precious daughter is part of it too. How does it feel, Sarah? Memories flooded Sarah's mind. Maya's limping in the mornings, her exhaustion, the mysterious money, the new clothes, her sudden switch to evening classes, the locked door at night. You've been exploiting my child? Sarah's voice shook with rage and horror. Exploiting? Regina laughed. I gave her opportunities. And now you'll let her marry Jason, or everyone will know about her nightclub performances. Your reputation will be ruined. You won't be able to show your face in society. Sarah's mind raced through the past months. All the signs she'd missed, all the warnings she'd ignored. Diana's concerned words, Mrs. Thompson's advice, Maya's strange behavior. It all made terrible sense now. You manipulated my 11-year-old daughter, Sarah whispered, her voice growing stronger with each word. You drugged me. You used my child for your revenge. Regina's smile never wavered. So what will it be, sister-in-law? A quiet wedding to Jason, or a very public scandal? But Sarah wasn't finished. She had one more card to play, and the time for being quiet was over. Sarah stood tall, her fear transforming into righteous anger. You think you've won, Regina? You think you can threaten me with scandal? She pulled out her phone, showing Regina the screen. While you were gloating, I recorded every word. Your confession about drugging me, exploiting my underage daughter, forcing her to perform in nightclubs. Should we see what the police think about this? Regina's smug smile faltered. You wouldn't dare. It would ruin Maya's reputation too. I'm her mother, Sarah declared, her voice firm. I'd rather face a temporary scandal than let my daughter be trapped in a life of exploitation. Unlike you, I actually care about protecting her. Just then, Maya appeared at the top of the stairs, tears streaming down her face. Mom, I'm so sorry, Aunt Regina. She said she'd help me earn money for the family. She said I could help with our financial problems. Then she wouldn't let me stop. She said she'd tell everyone if I didn't continue. Sarah rushed to embrace her daughter. Oh, Maya, none of this is your fault. You're just a child. She took advantage of you. Regina sneered. Go ahead, call the police. Who'll believe you? I have connections. I believe them, came a strong voice from the doorway. It was Diana, Sarah's friend from the women's organization. And so will the Child Protection Unit at my NGO. We've been building a case against your family's exploitation of minors for months. Sarah called me last night. The color drained from Regina's face as Diana continued. We have testimonies from other girls, evidence of underage performances, and now your own recorded confession. It's over, Regina. Maya, honey, Sarah turned to her daughter. I know it's scary, but we need you to be brave. Will you tell the authorities everything that happened? It's the only way to make sure Regina and Jason can't hurt any other young girls. Maya wiped her tears and straightened her shoulders. Yes, Mom, I'll tell them everything. I don't want any other girl to go through what I did. In the days that followed, the truth came out. Regina and Jason's nightclub operation was shut down. Other victims came forward, and the mother-son duo faced serious legal consequences for child exploitation. The scandal did hit the community, but not in the way Regina had threatened. Instead of condemning Maya, people supported her bravery in speaking out. Her story encouraged other young victims to seek help, breaking the cycle of exploitation and silence. Sarah enrolled Maya in counseling, and slowly, her daughter began to heal. The limping stopped, her natural smile returned, and she went back to morning Islamic studies with renewed dedication. One evening, as they sat together in their garden, Maya asked, Mom, how did you know to record Aunt Regina's confession? Sarah smiled, squeezing her daughter's hand. Because I'm your mother, Maya. Even when I didn't understand what was happening, I never stopped watching, worrying, and looking for ways to protect you. That's what real family does. We protect each other, not exploit each other. Maya leaned her head on her mother's shoulder, their bond stronger than ever. I'm sorry I kept secrets from you, Mom. I thought I was helping our family, but now I understand. Nothing is more important than trust between mother and daughter. As the sun set on their garden, Sarah held her daughter close, grateful for the second chance they'd been given. The nightmare was over, but its lessons would stay with them forever. Trust your instincts, never ignore the signs, and most importantly, stand up against evil, no matter who the perpetrator might be. In their community, their story became a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest dangers come from those we trust most, and that true courage means speaking up, even when it's difficult. For Sarah and Maya, it was the beginning of a new chapter, one built on honesty, healing, and hope. And that wraps up our story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps us motivated to create more amazing content. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So drop a comment below. We read and reply to everyone. See you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye for now.